Kate Mila-Falcha, welcome to Irish Granny Helen, and welcome to Nate of the Third Wish, back by popular demand.
Oh, thank you for having me back. I'm always on edge. Am I gonna be invited for next week or not, depending on my performance?
Well, if you make me mad or get on my wrong side, vengeance is mine. No. So how are you doing this week?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I've obviously been looking for a few topics. Didn't find anything that funny. But you know, things that are good to learn about, why not? Learning is fun.
I'll tell you, it's been a week, both in the larger world and in my own life. So when I tell you what I found that was funny, you're going to wonder about my sense of humor. This is actually not funny, but I feel validated, and maybe I'm somewhere on the psychopathic continuum because this gave me kind of a weird sense of satisfaction. So this is a terrible story, but I wanted to use it to point something out. Do you remember I made that big long list of things I'll never do? Activities I will
Yes,
never involve myself in. Well, I
yes.
just got validation from the universe. In South America the other day, a hot air balloon caught fire and tumbled from the sky in Brazil,
I saw that.
killing 8 people. And they actually had video of people on fire falling out of this thing. And when it landed, 13 people survived. So
How
this
many
thing must
people
have
were?
been, well,
Yeah.
13 plus 8, I don't know, 21. There must have been a huge number. It must have been huge, right?
If it was overloaded, that's why. It,
Where in any kind of common sense world is it a good idea to put flaming gas inside of a fabric balloon over a wicker basket? I mean, isn't that what you do to start a fire when you're in the Boy Scouts? I mean, it's just insanity.
but how nice might it be to have a picnic there on that basket?
I wouldn't be able to eat.
No?
No, I would lose my lunch. I don't like. Well, let's make
Maybe
another
after,
list of. I don't
maybe
like
after.
excitement. I don't
Well,
like heights. I don't like floating around in what's essentially kindling over burning gas. I mean, it makes no sense at all. But I do have a funny story.
ah,
I've been saving this. Uh, and then we have to do a little quiz. 7 suspects identified in jewelry heist thought to be the largest in the USA. I mean, this just sounds like a movie waiting to happen, doesn't it? So they stalked an armored car, an armored truck. I see them go by, in my neighborhood. There's a nice little road that's clear, and they can go up without having to stop, which I think is the idea, right? And I'll see them go by when I'm at walk, and I'll come stop up next to me and leave me with some money. Anyway, they followed them to on a rural road to a freeway rest stop north of Los Angeles, and they stole $100 million worth of diamonds, emeralds, and more. This is the largest jewelry heist in U.S. histories. 2 of them have been arrested. How did they find them? Well, you know what? You cannot drive in a vehicle without being on a camera. And if it's not, because there are cameras
yes.
everywhere, and if it's not your vehicle, if you rented it, they're going to have information about who rented it. 4 of them were at large on Tuesday, so this happened last week. One of the suspects, get this, is serving prison in Arizona for an unrelated burglary. So this must have been the mastermind. I don't know. So they named a few of them and went on to talk about it. The plan started in July of 2022. They scouted the armored truck leaving an international jewelry show near San Francisco. And I guess this happened in 2022. Oh, they don't even say that. This is not very well written article because they don't say that till the end of the article. I thought it happened last week. Uh, they were seen leaving a jewelry show with 73 bags of, it was the international jewelry show. The armored truck got the jewelry at the show, and they had 73 bags of jewelry. They followed the truck for 300 miles and got 24 bags of gold, rubies, luxury watches. They got some of the jewelry back. So here's my question. Under what circumstances would you rob an armored car? Would you ever consider trying to rob like a bank or something? Come up with a great idea to do a tunnel underneath or?
No, that's not my thing at all. Because I felt like I would get caught.
Oh, 100%, I guarantee I'd get caught. If I didn't have a heart attack from the stress doing it, and they would just find my corpse, while they were investigating. There's just no way. I don't know how people live with that kind of well, I can understand the intellectual game of coming up with a plan. That's actually very appealing, and that's what a lot of those movies and books are
The
about.
strategizing and
Right.
yes.
That's kind of
The Lupin, Arsène Lupin movie on Netflix. Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
Well, it's originally French, but it's on Netflix and translated. And it's basically in Paris is a famous the story of a thief, and each episode is how he steals a jewelry piece or a piece of art in the Louvre or.
Oh, so he's versed. Is this a true story?
Yeah.
Is it a documentary?
It's I think this is based on true
Fictionalized.
True. Yes.
Yeah.
Fictionalized is the word.
That's very interesting. That takes well, you have to have a certain level of psychopathy, and I know I harp on that, but psychopaths don't have that anxiety. They don't feel fear. They
No,
don't feel.
you have to be very confident.
Right. They make really good. And I'm not making this up. This has statistically been shown to be true. Very few psychopaths are like murderers. They're more likely to be very successful businessmen because they're ruthless. They don't care who they walk on. So they make CEOs. They make police officers.
They make presidents. They may even make presidents.
Oh, I can't believe that.
I know.
That's hard to believe.
It would be hard to find an example, but who knows? Maybe we would.
We could rack our brain. But one of the jobs that they have that they excel at, and this makes total sense, is neurosurgery.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it. You're opening up somebody's brain. If you move they do neurosurgery with microscopes because it's so small, right? If you move the slightest fraction of an inch, you could paralyze somebody or make them lose their personality, or they wouldn't be able to talk, or whatever. You could do serious permanent damage. So you have to be very confident, and you have to not get surges of adrenaline while you're doing it.
No emotions.
The hand will shake. Yeah. And it's very true. I've known some neurosurgeons, and they're a type.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. But if you were going to steal something, what would you steal? Like, it has to be big, not just, a cookie. Something big.
A piece of cheese, maybe, or
no. Now that's your cookie. No. It has to be something significant that other people would care about. What would you steal?
Like a museum piece.
Like you would go into the museum and steal it?
Yeah.
That'd be really hard to do. They have sensors and lasers and.
Yeah, but once in a while you see that they're able to get through, so there must be a way. Yeah.
That museum in Boston, the Isabella, everyone's yelling at the name of it. I can't remember. very famous art was stolen from there a couple of decades ago. It's never been retrieved. They actually think it might have been the IRA.
Wow.
I read a book about it a long time ago. It's been so long, I don't even remember the name of the museum, but very, very famous classical art pieces, you know, portraits and stuff. And they rolled them up, they think, and got them across the Atlantic.
Wow.
And yeah. I would like to steal something that it would be more like assuming identity than it would be stealing an item and taking it to another place. I would love, I have these fantasies when you see really, really wealthy people's beautiful old houses. I often think, I wish I could live in there. I imagine what it must
Oh.
be like to go in there when there's nobody home. This is kind of borderline sick because this is the kind of thing that leads up to
Hmm.
breaking in and hurting people. First you break in when no one's home, then you break in when they're asleep and you watch them sleep, and then you're, you know, the BTK killer, you know. Yeah. So I worry about myself.
But maybe there is a way to do one day, one night for a price in one of those homes. And of course, it's
Not the same.
expensive, but no.
Not the same. There was a scene on a show that I watched recently where a guy, I should watch the rest of it. I forgot to watch the other episodes. This guy loses his job. He's a very high powered executive, loses his job and can't maintain his lifestyle. And while he's talking to people at a party, he goes to the bathroom in this gigantic house and he starts snooping around because he's really having an emotional breakdown. You know, he's really upset and starting his, you can see the wheels are starting to turn, right? And he just wanders into a room and he looks around and he walks over to a dresser and he opens the drawer and there are wads of cash and a whole array of expensive wristwatches, which that's another topic for another day. I don't get that. But anyway, he takes some money. I think he took a watch, took some money, and then he realizes these people just said that they were going away on vacation. And he begins a life of crime. But I don't think I could handle the stress of waiting for the police to come or waiting for the alarms to go off or
No,
I'm
I don't see you very good at that.
no, I'm not suited for a life of crime. I'm not suited for any kind of criminal behavior successfully. When people, you know, this doesn't happen very often, but people accuse me of lying, even when I'm 100% innocent of all charges, I start to get red and I look sweaty and guilty and I lose the ability to talk and defend myself. I just manifest guilt, you know. It's terrible. I would make a really, really bad spy.
Yeah.
Just, I found somebody's purse on the street one morning when I was walking. I was picking up pennies. I always pick up, you know, coins. And I noticed, wow, there's a lot of pennies here on the ground. And then I noticed, oh, there's a purse in the middle of the road and it's rural, not well traveled. And I collected all the stuff from the bag and the ID and everything and put it all together. And I happened to have a plastic bag in my pocket. So I just changed my route and I walked down to the police department. And I walked in and I went up to the desk and, you know, plexiglass, bulletproof, you know, it's ridiculous. And there was a very sullen young woman working in this office alone. And she saw me. We made eye contact and then she ignored me for about 10 minutes. And then she came over and she said, "Can I do something for you?"
Oh,
And I said, "Yeah, I found this purse and I brought it in. It has ID in it." And as she turned her back and walked away, she said, "Leave it on the counter." But I had suspicions about a guy in a car that was parking in the same place every day. This is a rural by a field at a turnout and just staring. And it was making me very uncomfortable. So after a couple of days of this, I told my husband, and he had just come home from work. This is a few years ago. And he got mad, and he's not an imposing kind of person. He goes, well, what is he up to? And I said, I don't know, but he was there this morning, so he won't be there this afternoon. But he got in the car right away and he drove up there, and he made it really obvious to the guy. He didn't talk to him, but he got out and got close-up pictures of his license plate. So the next day, I went down to the police department. And I said, I have pictures. This guy's lurking. I don't know what he's doing, but I have a bad feeling about it. Do you want this license number? And the detective took his time. He comes out and he's very dismissive, just kind of arrogant, dismissive. And he goes, come on back here. So I go back to the interrogation room with him, and I started to sweat. I got all nervous. And I said to him, I'm guilty. Whatever it is, I did it. Lock me up and throw no sense of humor, none at all. So I told him my story, this weird guy, I have a bad feeling, my husband got the picture of the license. And he said, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll have somebody look into it. Very casual, right? 10 minutes later, he called me and he said, I really wanted to thank you. We've been looking for this guy for a long time.
Oh,
And
wow.
he wouldn't tell me why. Now I'm thinking this guy was some kind of predator.
Yeah.
Very scary. Very
Wow.
scary. Yeah. That's my cheery story. So trust your gut, because I just had a feeling there was something not right. This guy was not,
up to no good. Yeah.
Up to no good. Yeah. So I guess that's it. We'll try, you guys. I promise we will try very hard to find something uplifting and entertaining in the next week. Oh, we won't, because Nate will be gone. He's abandoning me.
I am traveling, so I won't be here.
Weak excuses. You have your phone with you. You could do it remotely.
Good.
Just I'm kidding. But I am going to do something. So just keep your eyes open, and I will do something on my channel. I try to maybe do a couple of heroes or a villain or a funny story. Just put it all together, and I will do something next Tuesday. I promise. Yeah, if we're all still around. Thank you, Nate. I just love it when we get together. And it's long foil, everybody. Sláinte.